Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, it's a little different video as we're going to talk about the old farm truck, the Super Cab. All right, so obviously I try to keep my channel more focused on the shop projects, the Bronco, that sort of thing. We're going to do a different video today, and we're going to talk about the old farm truck, the old ranch rig, the old Super Cab. And we're going to go through some things here. It's going to be a quick video. I want to try to make one every week. So we're going to discuss this pickup and some of the situation that has arisen in regards to this pickup. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So here she is in all her glory. My 1996 Ford F-250 Super Cab short bed farm truck. Powered by a 460 V8 ZF5 speed manual transmission that I swapped in. It's got a Dana 60 solid front axle that I swapped in. And just a regular old ranch bed, flatbed, that is a Mustang brand. I've owned this truck about 2 years now, and it's been pretty good. Not to say that it ain't cost me money. About every time I turn around, I've done a lot to this truck to get it to where it is today. But sometimes things that have been sitting for a hot minute tend to leave you stranded. So like I said, it originally started life as an automatic transmission. Obviously, I like my manuals. So this past May, in May of 2025, the E4OD automatic went out of it. I sourced a local junkyard for a ZF5 speed manual. I had the pedal assembly and tunnel cover and everything else, and we swapped in the ZF5 with a brand new loop clutch and flywheel kit. Took the factory drive shafts out of it, sent them to a local driveline shop and overpaid and had them lengthened and shortened and all the good stuff. Rolling on some Kelly Safari MT tires, or a 285 75/16 on just old school steel wheels. Can't really beat that. This Mustang flatbed I had picked up on a truck that I bought. It was originally a long box. Sold the pickup, kept the flatbed. The flatbed ended up on my old Super Duty 7.3 diesel I had for a while, and eventually that flatbed came off of that truck, went to a local welding shop where they cut and shortened it to fit the short wheelbase here. We got trap doors on it for the front and rear fuel tanks, and obviously gooseneck plate for hauling. Good friend of mine out in Illinois, he sent me the tow mirrors and the cab lights that I've added to this thing. Dana 60 solid front axle was installed in February of 2025. Completely rebuilt hub to hub. Did new leaf spring bushings, all new Monroe shocks, extended front brake lines, all new hard lines for the brakes, rear rubber brake line, all new rear brakes, all new front brakes, all new steering linkages. I mean, the works. I've really put some time into this truck, and it's been a good pickup, but it just seemed like every time I turned around, it had a new problem, and we'd just fix it. Replaced the rear fuel tank and the fuel pump on it. Now the front tank's got a weak pump in it. It's got a really kind of a shoddy exhaust system underneath of it, and actually the hanger broke a bolt, so I got to rehang that up at some point here. But let's go into the reason why it's sitting down here at the end of the road on the farm and what we're gonna do next. Okay, so today is Saturday the 14th. So on Thursday, the 12th, I had to go to my day job. I run a ready mix truck. And so from about Thanksgiving to about April 1st, typically, we go on seasonal layoff, which is fantastic for me. It gives me time to sit at home with the kids that aren't in school and do a lot of projects in the shop in the winter months, you know, catch up on stuff that I don't get done in the summer, and spend some time, you know, here on the farm doing the farm stuff. But, you know, it was a good, nice, beautiful day on Thursday. We decided, you know, needed to go to work. And I drove the old Super Cab here about 40-ish minutes up to the city where the Ready Mix plant was at. The Ready Mix plant that I work out of is a little bit more local to me, but they shut that down in the winter, winterized the plant. The plant up in the city, all within the same company, is a hot water plant, so they run year round. I drove up to work that day, had a good day at work, put in quite a few hours, was pretty happy with that. Jumped back in the old Super Cab here and headed for home. I made it about halfway home when I started hearing the engine make a little bit of a noise. I pulled over and checked it out, could not find anything wrong with it. Couldn't hear the noise at an idle. Kind of gave it some rasps on the engine a little bit with the throttle up underneath the hood and tried to see if I could pick up the noise. And the long and short of it is I probably wasn't getting the engine up over 1,600 RPM while I was doing that. I typically drive this truck and shift it anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200 RPM. I don't have a tach in the truck. I just drive by the sound and the feel. Well, I took off, headed back for the house, and I made it another 5 miles down the road, and that noise was just picking up and getting progressively worse. I got to the stop sign, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm making it home. Something's definitely wrong. I round the corner from the stop sign in second gear, because I start and stop the truck in second gear. First gear in this transmission is super low. It came out of an F Super Duty for towing, so it's got a super low first gear. Turn the corner in second, get it up about 2,200 RPMs, and by God, if I can't hear the noise. I hit the clutch, stuff it in third gear, let the clutch out, get her right back up to that 2 to 2,200 RPM, and I can hear the noise. When I heard the noise, I'm like, yep, that sounds like valve train. That sounds like there's a valve smacking the top of the piston. And the truck at this point is running like absolute shit. I go to shift it into fourth gear. When the truck backfires and shakes so violently, I thought the whole thing came apart. It was still running, temp gauge pegged out like that. I killed it, coasted, didn't get quite enough of a momentum going to make it to the gravel road. Had no choice, had to fire her back up, stick it back in gear, get it onto the shoulder of the road. At that point, the engine's not making the noise. It's running horribly, but it's not making noise. I quickly throw the hood open, walk around the front of the vehicle. I'm checking it out. I give it some rasps on the accelerator. Noise is there. Noise goes away. Noise comes back. The noise I was hearing was the valve dropping and hitting the piston and getting smacked around and then punched back up. It promptly at that moment decided to completely empty the contents of the cooling system through the coolant reservoir because it built pressure in the system. I quickly shut the engine down, and it has ran exactly twice since then to drive it onto the trailer and to drive it out to the trailer to right where it sits. So the engine in this truck most likely is Dunsky's. So what are we gonna do next? We'll get into that in a minute. Okay, so that leads us into what are we doing next? Are we putting a motor in this truck? Are we replacing this truck? What are we gonna do? I have been looking for a crew cab replacement. Don't get me wrong. I've said this many, many times to friends and family. I love this truck. I've wanted a super cab short bed OBS Ford for a decade or more. Ideally, I wanted a Power Stroke 5-speed one because they're kind of hard to find. I settled for the 460 automatic and kind of made it what I want it to be. But the truck is incredibly rusty. It's got 230,000 miles on it. It's a great farm truck. There are a lot of times here lately in the last year or so that I wish it was a long box. When I purchased this pickup about 2.5 years ago, almost three years ago now, I had a 4-door diesel long box pickup, and that was my heavy hauling ranch truck. This was going to be the go out in the pasture, bomb around, you know, short wheelbase, easy to maneuver truck with a big enough cab to haul my kids. Because I considered at the time buying a regular cab pickup, long box, But I figured, you know, the short bed extended cab truck is pretty close in wheelbase size. The maneuvering it around would be very similar to maneuvering a regular cab. But I have more room for the kids to go along with me. So the situation that I run into is, at one point in time, I decided I'm going to stick a 12-valve Cummins in this truck. When this 460 dies, I'm going to put a 12-valve in it. However, when I had that mentality, I expected to have another vehicle to drive. Right now, we're down to the wife's car. That's it. The Bronco's not finished up yet, and this thing just laid down on me. The Bronco is probably another 6 months out from realistically being done because I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure everything is copacetic before I put that thing on the road. This thing laying down puts me in a predicament. I have to have a farm truck to do the stuff that I want to do and the stuff I need to do, hauling livestock, whatever else. We can get by with the wife's car and borrowing the bumper pull trailer that my grandfather bought new in the late 80s. Or I replace the pickup and I can pull the gooseneck and, you know, have a flatbed on it and the whole 9 yards. So, as of right now, at the time of this video, the old Super Cab here is listed on Marketplace. The flatbed is listed separately. And it is also posted on a farm and ranch bale bed truck page on Facebook. In hopes that I can find a long box single rear wheel bale arm bed for the next truck. What is the next truck, you might ask? Well, I don't know. I ain't found it yet. There's a couple good prospects that I found. Another OBS, a Super Duty, a couple Super Duties actually, a couple OBS trucks. Some of them are extended cabs, some of them are crew cabs, some of them are diesels, some of them are gas, some of them are automatics, some of them are manuals. What I find will be revealed to you in the next video, because I ain't purchased nothing yet. I have a very hard, tight budget that I got of where I got to be, and I got to make sure that I'm extremely diligent with my finances, especially with the farm stuff going on. Because if I spend too much money on a pickup, that might hinder me from putting a crop in the ground in a year. That might hinder me on buying more livestock. So that's where we're at. That's what I got for you for this week. Stay tuned. I'll reveal it to you in the next video what the next truck's going to be to replace this old girl when I get one bought. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good weekend.